I'm from Leapfrog Fight TV. I'm here with Jamie Petch. Every time I come and see you, Jamie, there's always something to talk about.
Yes,
every
always.
single time. So let's start with first where we are. We're at switch kick.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about this because I remember talking to you ages ago, and you were just starting out, and you had a couple of fighters coming through, and you were saying that this was just set up. What's going on with switch kick right now? What's happened over the last year or two, and what's next for switch kick?
Yeah, so it's been busy. Been a busy year so far. I've had a lot of guys doing their first amateur fights. I've had a lot of guys who are coming through kind of, I've got George who's having his first amateur title fight. He's fighting for a Southern Area ISK title in a couple of months. So that's a real big one for him. He's 5-0 at the minute. He's got a real tough opponent, also undefeated. So that'll be a banging fight, real good test for George. Yeah, man, just staying busy. Just trying to keep all the fighters active. I've obviously got my guys that have been with me from the beginning now for a couple of years who are starting to look really, really good, really promising, all doing well in the amateur ranks. Got a few new guys who are like starting to come through. And I think we're at that stage now where because there's a good general level, it just brings everyone else up. You know, like the newer guys coming through, they see these guys who are competing and like winning their fights, doing really well. And it inspires them to put in the work, and they're all trying to get in the inter clubs. And it's starting to kind of grow itself now. Starting to develop really nicely.
What have you learned about yourself from being a teacher?
What have I learned about myself? I don't know. I'm moody. I don't know. I guess, I don't know if I've like necessarily learned anything about myself, but I've definitely developed as a fighter. You know what I mean? Like I've definitely I think the more you teach and the more you have to think about things in depth. And like, you know, if you're explaining something to somebody in a class and then they ask you a question, you got to know the answer. You know what I mean? You can't be teaching somebody something and then like not know, you know, why is my hand here, or, you know, why am I turning the foot in that direction, or whatever. You know what I mean? You have to know like any question you could get asked. And if you don't necessarily know the answer, you might have to bullshit your way through and then go home and find out the answer. You know what I mean? So you're gonna develop as a fighter. I feel that I've learned so much since coaching. I've developed so much. I've got so much better within myself, like fundamentally, and I guess as well just going around and demonstrating the fundamentals over and over and over. You're in front of a class and you're just boom, boom, boom. This hand goes here, this hand, and you're doing the same thing over and over and over. Super basic fundamental stuff, but you're getting those reps in still. You know what I mean? I feel like it definitely helps.
You come across as someone that's quite passionate. Like I've known you, you're very passionate. You're a passionate teacher as well. That come across if someone's learning from you. Yeah,
very much so. I scream, I shout in a good way generally. I'm all in on it, man. I love it. It's my life. Like everything I do revolves around this sport in some way, shape or form. And also as well, when I'm preparing these boys to go out and fight, I want them to, you know, perform the absolute best they can. You know what I mean? Not only are they representing my brand, but they're there in front of their friends and their family and all that. I want to make sure I give them the best chance that I can to go out there and perform and to win, hopefully. So,
does it change the way you train?
What, as in teaching?
Yeah, I'll tell you what I mean by this is, see, a fighter is very, selfish is probably the best way of saying it, right? Because you focus on your own stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas now you're looking to develop yourself, but you're also looking at what you're learning to give to someone as well.
Of course.
So does it change? I was quite interested in that. Does it change how when you're finding and discovering stuff about your own fighting style?
100%. Like when I was out in Holland before the last fight, everything I was learning out there, I was getting shown so much cool stuff. I learned loads of stuff that was like pivotal in me winning my last fight. And all I was thinking is, I can't wait to go back and show my boys, you know what I mean, and go and show them. And now I'm showing them shit like I was doing in Holland, and I'm watching them and they're all like landing it, inspiring and like looking really sick with it. So yeah, everything I do, whenever I get shown something, as much as it's cool, adding it to my arsenal, and then I'll work it, refine it and try it inspiring, see if it works, see how I like to land it myself. And then once I kind of feel confident with it, then I love to pass it on to the guys. And then they add their own flair onto it. You know what I mean? Like everyone's different. Everyone fights in different styles. Everyone has different attributes. So not everything will work for every one person. You know what I mean? So like if I show them something, it might not work. They might have to refine it in certain ways. But then, yeah, it's fun to see.
So what's going to happen with Switch Kick? Because it's busy.
Very busy.
It's packed. Are you expanding? You get into bigger premises? What's going on?
Yeah, so the first step was to expand the timetable. So literally just before this last fight, the beginning of this month, so I fought on the 5th, from the start of this month, we expanded the timetable. We went from 3 sessions a week, plus like maybe a sparring session that was a bit hit or miss wherever it would happen, just with it like turnout. And now we're doing 10 sessions a week. So we've really expanded the timetable. We've got a lot more. I think now that I've expanded the timetable, it lets me get like down to do more specific stuff. So for example, when I had like 2 or 3 sessions a week, I was trying to cram so much into like an hour and a half, 2 hours, always overrunning massively. Whereas now I've got like a specific boxing class, I've got a specific clinch class, like an hour's clinch. I've got the fighters classes where I focus a little bit more on the pad work. Obviously like more technical drills, sparring, clinch, elbows, that kind of stuff. And the beginners classes, I've stripped back. I'm not really doing pad work in the beginners classes anymore, just because if you have somebody who's like a complete beginner holding pads and they're like all over the gaff, it's going to stunt whoever they're with's progress. You know what I mean? You're going to have somebody that's like trying to punch pads over there that aren't moving, and it's just pointless. So the beginners classes, I'm keeping it like very much drill based. If we do pad work, it's just kicks, which is pretty simple, and that's more endurance rounds, or like very, very basic combinations. But yeah, it's given me a chance to now really fine tune and focus on specific areas I wanted to.
Yeah, that's quite cool the way you're adjusting how you're training and how you're getting the most out of it. Because there's a bit where you have the fighter's knowledge, but then there's a teacher element.
Yeah, of course.
You know how you're tweaking the lessons to get the most out of your beginners. I think that's quite interesting.
Yeah, no, it's trial and error, mate. Trial and error. You know what I mean? Like I'm just taking little bits and bobs from all these places that I've trained at over the years, and just kind of stuff that I like, drills that I like, stuff that worked for me, stuff that I know that I did within my training, stuff that I do in my fights, and I just kind of mashed it all together and see what works. And it appears to be working so far. It's all right.
So let's talk about your fight career so far, up to this year anyway, because there were a few fights didn't happen, but the big one did.
Yes.
So how have you stayed focused? Because that's quite a big one. There's a lot of eyes on it.
Yeah.
It would have been it's like a big reputational fight as well.
Of course, yeah.
Bragging
rights kind of thing, innit?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how did you stay focused for that fight, and what did you do in terms of preparation for this fight?
Oh mate, I was fucking dialed in. I was dialed in from the beginning. It was not difficult to stay focused for that fight whatsoever. There was a lot on the line, more than just like, you know, obviously like the rematch and whatnot, but like obviously Tom, UK #1 at the time, the CFS World title, which is like a nice little cool thing to put on the resume. So yeah, there was a lot on the line, a lot at stake, and yeah, I've been locked in for months for it. As you said, obviously we're supposed to have other fights earlier on, so I was meant to fight Tom's last opponent. I can't even remember what the kid's name now, the Portuguese dude. I had a kidney infection right at the start of the year, which took me out of the first fight. Then we got it remade for like 2 months down the line, and then he pulled out a week before the fight. So I'd pretty much gone through like 2 training camps with no fight, and I just carried on. I just like kind of rolled straight through. And then, what was it? I'd had about, must have been about six months.
Like in the sense that, say you've got the Tom Kirk fight coming up, and you know you've got, let's say, 1 fight in between.
Yeah.
Because you have that momentum, right?
Yeah.
Did it affect your preparation for that Tom fight?
In terms of what focusing on the fight in between.
Yeah. So exactly. Because Tom's a big fight, and I'm not saying the others weren't.
Yeah.
But you kind of like when you look at it, you think, I finished camp, have this fight, didn't.
Yeah, no, it didn't really change anything for me. Like my whole focus was on the Tom fight anyway from the beginning. Like for I don't know, 9 months or something, I've just been working knees. I've just been like adding knees into my arsenal. Really, Thailand was the game changer for me. From Thailand, I started working more knees, obviously, just naturally being out there. And then I was training a lot down. I've done some bits and bobs down Team JD with Andy, done lots of bits with like Michael Clark as well, who's down here tonight. And they're all amazing, like, you know, knee gyms, knee fighters, Muay Thai style. And I was kind of like, well, why can't I use that in K1 to a certain extent? Yeah. So since then, I had some humbling spars and was like, I need to be able to do that. So added it to the game, started working it. And yeah, about 9 months of just, you watch me in my shadow boxing, mate, it was just knee, but knee, knee, just muscle memory, building it up, getting the technique perfect, and then it's kind of what happened in the fight.
You said you went and trained in Holland as well.
Yes.
Why did you do that?
I wanted to go train out there for a while. Wanted to go get some work out there for a while. Seemed like a good time. Obviously, Tom's like very conventional Dutch kickboxing style, like, you know, tight guard, chin down, heavy low kicks, good boxing. So I thought, go get some good looks out there from some kind of similar style guys. Had some really, really good rounds out there, sparring like, you know, all glory fighters. Obviously, I did a lot of work out there in Amsterdam with Regan Erzl, who's one championship champion, like beast, animal, one of my favourite fighters, maybe my favourite fighter in terms of like Muay Thai K1. And he's also got that kind of style that I was looking to emulate for the fight, that kind of heavy forward pressure, knee style. And the whole gym, I loved it there. It was brilliant. I learned so much. They have such an interesting way of striking. Very kind of like old school Dutch style. Lots of awkward timing. Like nothing's really thrown at the conventional boom, boom, boom. It's all kind of on the half beat. Every shot kind of rolls into the next. Not powering up on everything, but it's like all leading into the power shots. You know what I mean? It all rolls downhill, and it's a very, very interesting style that I picked up.
Like on a personal level, what was that experience for you like as a fighter? It's a big deal to be fighting, training over there, and the names that you just mentioned. That's huge. So personally, what was that to you?
Brilliant. It was really, really nice. You know, it's obviously good going and sparring against people of that caliber because it's a good litmus test to see where you're at. And I feel like I did very well out there. I had good rounds, and they looked after me very well as well. They you know. The first day I went down there, they only had like 3 days on their timetable online. And I was like, have you got any more days or is this it? Because I was thinking, there's no way fighters of this caliber can only be training 3 days a week. There's got to be something more. They were like, no, this is it. So I was like, okay, whatever, fine. Went down, did like a really good sparring session. They shark tanked me, put me in the ring, sending all their fighters in. I had some hard rounds, gave it good, but I was as fucked by the end. And then the coach came up to me and then invited me down to the secret fighters classes. And then I was down there and getting, once again, sick rounds with all their guys. And yeah, they really, really looked after me there. It was a really good experience all round. Definitely going to be back. That
just how you describe the time in Holland, it's what sets you apart from the other fighters. You enjoy that challenge.
100%.
You want to push and you love it. Like you can just see it in your face. It's
the best.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what kind of sets you apart. How much of that and how much of the training that you did in this camp did you use in that fight against Tom Cook?
So much. Literally, the best piece of advice that I could have possibly got came from Reagan, and it was how to knee in the face, pretty much. Because I've always struggled kneeing in the face. It's like I've tried it in loads of my fights and I always just fell slightly short and I couldn't quite get it, wasn't getting the angle right. And I asked him, because he's so good at it, he's had so many fights where he's just battering people's faces, splatting their nose across their face. And I was like, how do you do that? And he gave me one piece of advice. I'm not going to say what it is because it's a secret now. And it changed my fucking game, changed the game. And like since then, my knees to the head have been beautiful. So I'm going to keep working that.
So what was the feeling like when you're doing the ring walk for the Tom Kirk fight? Finally, the fight's happening. What was
the moment my walkout tune started coming on, I just kind of dialed in, forgot about it, turned into kind of like kill mode, and yeah, that was it.
What was Tom like as an opponent? Was he what you expected from him?
In terms of what, sorry?
Just in terms of what your expectation was of Tom Kirk.
Yeah. I mean, I expected it to be a really difficult fight. Really expected him to. I knew he put a load of work in for it. He obviously was going to put a load in for it. The main thing that I was like thinking about for the fight, one of the biggest things that I knew was going to be a weapon for him was the cardio. I know he's got like very, very good cardio. He melts people with pressure, and he's very good at drawing people into his fights. You know what I mean? He'll go there and he'll throw heavy hands, big combinations, sit inside the pocket, and he'll make people fight at that pace. And one of the biggest things for me was just not getting drawn out and not allowing him to make me fight at a pace I didn't want to fight at. You know what I mean? I was happy to do my work, and then if I needed to, if I wanted to, take a little shell and let him work for a little bit and not waste too much energy. At the end of the day, it's a 5-round fight. it's a 5-round fight. I'm not going to go like trade with him like mental for 2 rounds and then just gas myself out like I've seen other people do in the past and then get finished. You know what I mean? I wanted to be super efficient with that energy. And the cardio was there. He had brilliant cardio. And he didn't really show much signs of slowing down. Like maybe towards some of the end of the rounds, but then the next round starts and he comes out and he's fresh again. So, you know, very, very good cardio.
What do you think won you the fight?
A few things, I guess, like fight IQ, maybe. Fight IQ was very helpful. Good game plan. I game planned very well. I game planned well for the first fight. Saw the head kick, drilled the head kick, landed the head kick. This one, I knew the head kick probably wasn't going to be there again. Why would it? He's already like had it twice. So you'd have to think that avenue to victory was not there. So the game plan was really, I knew I wouldn't be able to keep him away. Like in an ideal world, if I was doing that fight, I'd be long distance all day long. I'd be throwing big hard teeps to the stomach. I'd be like piecing him up with long straight shots and just keeping him at distance, which is pretty much what I did for the first round. But I knew with his pressure, he's just so relenting, just like so good at closing that distance, like little bobbing and weaving style, gets in super close. So rather than trying to waste energy running away and trying to keep it long distance, I thought, let's just accept the fact that he is going to be in my face and I'm just going to high guard and just knee the fuck out of him and make him not want to be there. You know what I mean? If I can't get away from him, then just make him not want to be there effectively.
Excellent. How did it feel when you got your hands raised?
Good. Yeah, it was a satisfying one. It was a satisfying one. I wasn't sure if it was done at first. I was kind of like there. I was like, is this done? And they going to clean up the nose? Like, what's going on? But yeah, it was once I found out the fight was done. Yeah, it was good, satisfying as any fight.
I'm conscious that we're kind of running out of time. Your class is going to start soon.
What is the time?
What is the time? 6:36.
We got time.
We got time. Oh, wicked. So I tell you what I want to know now. You've had this big fight.
Yeah.
What's next for you? Is it K1? There's rumours of Muay Thai? What's next for you? What do you want to do next? Or a bit of both, maybe.
So yeah, it's a tricky one. I might do, well no, I probably will do more K1 fights, but I just want big fights, really. But in reality, I want to do Thai. I really want to do Thai. Like I'm enjoying the training so much more now. I feel like I've done a lot with K1 and I really want to like move on to the Thai side of things. I've been loving clinching, been loving working my elbows. Obviously I've been working the knees for this fight, but I'm going to continue refining that. There's just so much more for me to learn and I feel like I'm learning it in the Thai aspect, you know what I mean? But saying that, before that happens, I've got like so much personal, like kind of life shit to sort out that it's just not feasible to take a fight within the next couple of months, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like obviously I mentioned to you earlier, my missus is pregnant, so I'm having a baby. We're moving into a house. The last even leading up to that fight, it's just been mortgage, trying to get the mortgage sorted, super stressful, trying to get that done. I'm trying to learn how to drive so I can drive the missus and the baby about and trying to expand the class. All the boys have got their fights. There's just so much going on and at the level of which that I'm competing and I want to compete at, it's just, I'd be spreading myself too thin. I'd be doing myself a disservice taking a fight within the next few months. So maybe towards the end of the year, maybe we're looking something towards the end of the year, like December or something like that. Or if not, definitely early next year. But in reality, I need to sort that out first. Because when I fight, that's all I'm doing. You know what I mean? I need to go and I'll fuck off to Holland for a month, or I'll just be there twice a day, 6 days a week. And I just can't commit to that at the minute. I'll be doing my boys a disservice or I'll do myself a disservice. And I'd rather just not bite off more than I can chew for the time being.
Do you think you matured as a fighter? And I don't mean in terms of your fighting style, but just like even now, when we're having this conversation, it's
100%.
I want the big fights, but it's got to be sensible. I've got my kid come in, and that's some huge experience.
100%. But even in the preparation for this camp, so for example, in the past when I've had injuries and stuff, I've just trained for it or tried to train for it and then not listen to my mum or not listen to my miss or my coach and just continue trying to train because I got to fight and I got to train for the fight and then I just end up making it worse and fucking it up. Whereas this one, I had a really nasty injury on about 3 weeks out from the fight. It was my last spar. I went Cyprus after Holland, and I split underneath one of my toes. I'll show you a picture later. It was fucking disgusting. I threw a teep, hit somebody's elbow, and it literally looked like somebody had just been at my toe with like a Stanley blade. Like you could see all the fucking fat and tendons, all that shit. It was disgusting. I had to get like 6 stitches in it. And obviously I'm there, I'm like, got the biggest fight of my life in 3 weeks' time, what am I gonna do? But because I knew how much work I'd put into that fight leading up to that point, I wasn't afraid to just be like, nah, fuck it, take the time off. So I took probably about 2.5 weeks, didn't do fuck all. If you see me in the media day videos as well, I was like shadowboxing, but I kept my socks on because I was all like strapped up down there. I told everyone I had like a fungal infection. But yeah, I took that time, didn't really do anything for like 2.5 weeks. Toe injured up perfectly, healed up perfectly, and then I was good to go. Whereas had that been 2 years ago, I have no doubt that I would have given it probably 2 days rest, then tried to strain and split it back open, then gone to hospital and had it re-glued, and you know what I mean? So definitely in terms of that aspect, I've definitely matured as a fighter. And then I think, yeah, that does translate into this as well. Like, I know how much it takes for me to perform and to fight at this level, and I know what it takes, what commitment it would take, and I'm just not able to give it for the next however many months, you know what I mean? Like, fighting is a selfish sport, and when my missus is pregnant, it's not time for me to be selfish. You know what I mean? She's been there for me for the last however many years, supporting me through every single fight camp, always there. Now it's my turn to repay the favour. So, got to get my fucking driver's license. That's super important. 100%. Got to get my driver's license, got to get the house sorted, and then we can talk.
Just a couple more questions. If you make the switch from K1 to Muay Thai, how hard would it be? And I'll tell you what I mean by this. Is you don't have as much Muay Thai experience. So when you come over, everyone knows who Jamie Petch is.
Yeah.
Everyone is seeing you. You have a very big reputation. Like, you can't be, even in the Muay Thai world, not know who you are in the UK. So then those opponents that you get, could they potentially be at a much higher level than what you're entering? And are you happy to take that challenge?
Yeah, very much so. I'm not expecting to go and take like low level, easy intro fights just because it's different. I want to prepare to the absolute best that I can. Like my clinch is good at the minute. I've been working like loads of clinch now for about a year. I've been doing shitloads of clinch all the time. It's getting a lot better. I'm working with Michael Clark, who's one of the best Muay Thai fighters in the UK. Absolute fucking animal, a lot heavier than me. He's gonna help me with that there as well, 100%. I trust Mike. I trust Andy down at Team JID. I have a lot of guys around me who are like, you know, super high level in the areas that I lack. So, I'm not concerned about that there. I've got time. Like, even though I'm busy and I've got shit on, I'm still training, I'm still active, and I'm still gonna grow, and I'm gonna develop. And I might not have the fight experience in Thai, but I have fight experience. I've been doing this, I've been competing in karate when I was fucking 5 years old, all throughout my life, and I've had however many professional K1 fights now at a good level on big shows. It's just gonna introduce a few new weapons, you know what I mean? But if I can do it in here, then there's no reason that I can't do it out there too, you know what I mean?
I've interviewed you a couple of times over the years.
Yeah.
And every time I interview, it's always like something is coming. So it's always like, you've got this big fight, and then you pick up an injury, and I'm coming back from injury, and you're building momentum up. It feels to me like you're there now. Right? I don't know why. Like, you radiate the confidence right now, because before it's always, if I get this fight, I get that fight, I might get the big fight, and I might get this. Now it feels like you're kind of like king of the hill right now. You're at a very good place in terms of yourself, very good place in your personal life too. So it's exciting to see you like this. Yeah. And I'm excited to see what's next for you as well.
I'm excited too. It's going to be a good few years. I'm excited.
100%. Before we end this, we'll end this like how we normally end. Who do you want to shout out? Who do you want to thank?
There's a lot of people, but shout out my girlfriend, Bams. I love you. Very, very excited. Very excited for January 27th or around that time. I love you. And she always supports me for everything. And now it's my turn to return the favour. So that's my shout out for today.
Jamie, thank you for giving me time. Like always, I really appreciate seeing you. And I really appreciate where you are right now.
Cheers,
I
bro.
have a love for you, bro.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Legend.
Nice.